Hi guys, let's start the morning here looking on the crypto market here on the price of Bitcoin. This is a arithmetic chart. Now this is the path that we saw here on this chart for a correction, ideally to this area here, sub 30. We see that the prior rise, the the patterns emerge here for a resistance breakout, and then the resistance flipped into support, and we had several of these patterns occurring here. And once we had this correction, the price immediately looks for a retest of those levels that haven't been retested during the rise. And the first one that appears very clear is this 24,000. Now, this is the one that looked like very far stretched to the downside in the beginning of the correction, but now we are now coming closer to it, and would make sense that we see a brief snap back to that level. So this was the path that we envisioned before. I will correct now this line here and establish a couple of scenarios that we could see. So we could eventually, from the place we are right now, we could see the continuation here to the downside, towards that horizontal leveling. From there, a rally to the higher realms again. We also could see the price rise a little bit more to this prior supports here, and react from there. This one, for example, also the area here where these two lines, the horizontal one and the slightly ascending line, where they converge more or less here, we could see this type of price action. So I would say only a cross above this horizontal line, above this ascending blue line, would enter here into more positive territory. It will erase all the technical damage caused by this correction, and we would again come closer to the 60,000 level, and from there I think the bull market would continue. So I would pay attention still to this chance of a snapback here to the sub 30 levels. Buy from here just to this all-time high would be 175% gain, just to recover the recent gain, the recent space lost. If we look at the same Bitcoin price, but this time from a logarithmic perspective, here it's much easier to see the dimension of the correction. It doesn't appear as threatening as an arithmetic chart. We see how the price went to search for liquidity here based on this level, on this descending level. An interesting point was this one that we saw also on the other chart, like this resistance that was broken here to the upside, and almost here revisit one with this correction. So this level here, because the price didn't react really to this level on a horizontal basis, we want to look at what happens to this to any line that passes through or has its origin on that same pattern. And we have this descending line here. It was the area where the price snapped back to. Yeah. So we are still within this expanding area here. Again, the same for this chart. We could resume the correction downwards to these lower levels here, and eventually here to the sub 30,000 here, close to the 20,000 correction. In terms of timing, we are very limited here. The time window ends practically by tomorrow, so would have to be a very fast movement to get there precisely in terms of time. So we may, if we see a correction, we may stay within these higher levels here. The last contact point with these three ascending lines was here. So this is the line that is more fresh as for price memory. So we could eventually rest on that one around the 26,000 where it is here, crossing these horizontal supports. So we could see this scenario also here playing out for a continuation to the downside, and then a recapture of these higher levels if we see a little reaction, but we can enter into this area and then eventually going for much higher levels. Okay, obviously the high, the all-time high will be an important milestone, but also any lines that go from this top here would be the natural technical target for the price of Bitcoin. Okay, fine. So let's see on the Ethereum chart the levels that we should pay attention to. We start here with a arithmetic chart. We see the price went to look for liquidity at this precise level here, this little flag almost unnoticed here, but the price went back to snap it. So we can now change this to black. This is already consumed. This level, we also surpassed this red level here. That's a bullish sign here for the price of Ethereum. We expected the correction to go here to this level, not lower, but we had these levels in mind, as we also have these lower levels here, sub 1,000. Obviously, the time window here enters well into June, which we do not expect to last so long, the correction, but we could still see some kind of correction to eventually to these lower levels. If not, then natural layers would be around this one, or even a little bit lower. If that level here was important, as we see this correction, this big correction here now or this big rally here from this level here horizontally, then we might also take the same level here and trace a dynamic line from this very same level. Okay, and just parallel to the lines we have been using. Okay, and would come here to the 1200, 1300 for a eventual last drop. If we can, on the other side, just surpass these levels here for resistance, then that would be a bullish omen. If we can, upon a first reaction that will surely happen, if we can hurdle that, then we could here be into much higher prices for the coming weeks and months. Okay, so that will be the first line here to pay attention to. Also, this Fibonacci channel line here would be an important one. Notice how the ultimate high here was not a Fibonacci target in itself. So that's a curious thing that we alerted it, our users in the past, that Ethereum was not at a all-time or an important high, because we saw this reversal happening here more or less in the void, within two key technical levels from a Fibonacci perspective. So let's see how the whole affair here ends, but we still have as a target here the 5,000 on Ethereum, which is the 1618 extension from all the price action, the prior price action that we have seen here in the price of Ethereum. If you look at Ethereum again here from a logarithmic perspective, we can see here we do have a Fibonacci extension based on a logarithmic chart that acted as resistance. So from this point of view, we do have a target met, so to say. But the line that follows along here goes into the 5,000s for a continuation. We are seeing the reaction here on top of this important Fibonacci level as well, and the lower wicks here, looking for liquidity on this well-known lines from the past. So we could still see some corrective movements here, a little bit deeper into these areas here. Again, the 12,000, 30,000, which is this descending line here, and a snap back. A very interesting level. We have this one. This is a very interesting level. Horizontally speaking, this level corresponds to the $750 Ethereum, but we may not see a snapback to that level as we saw here in the past, at least on the Kraken exchange. Not all exchanges will show this lower wick here. This was a level that was already picked up here by some buyers, and we may see the importance of this level still playing out, not horizontally if we don't get that much of a retracement, but we may see any ascending lines that go from or start at this very neat flag pattern here, play a role here as support. And if that's the case, we'll see a correction here. As we speak, the line stays more or less on the just above the $1,000 Ethereum. That would be a very nice level also to engage into a long trade. And finally, we'll look at the price of Ripple, XRP here. We stay here with a logarithmic chart. Here we have also an interesting pattern where the price looked to pick the demand here from this neat catapult point here, where we see this strong breakout. The price went almost to this level. We are seeing, by the way, a lot of these lower wicks are just reversing shy of those levels, or just on the top of the support areas, and that is an indication that this is by no means a bear market. When the market when the price really reacts to the top to the top band of a resistance zone, or even a little bit before entering into that price zone, this is a very bullish sign. Also, the bodies of the candles will usually stay above the key horizontal level. Sometimes we have the horizontal level forming or hindering the body from the candle to print lower, and then the wick going one or two levels lower to pick a dynamic line there. But even so, we don't penetrate too much into the zones. That is all in all a very bullish sign, or at least a sign that this correction is being bought. It's by the deep type of price action. It's by no means characteristic of a bear market. Okay, so here the line here, we would say we had this horizontal level that we could say would be the one to see a reaction, and if we don't have a reaction, then a pop up here above this area. But we already had a reaction to that level. That's why it appears here in black. But we can say that any entering here again to this area here around the 150 $1 and a half for Ripple, that is already a sign that we may have seen the correction and higher prices are ahead. And the potential for higher prices here in the case of Ripple, as we explained in previous videos, is even much higher in our view than Ethereum and Bitcoin in terms of percentage gains. So anything here would be also a good level of accumulation. If we see a continuation lower, well, here we could venture to say that if this level plays again a role as support, we may see two things. We may see the price going here to this diagonal level that crosses the same important horizontal one where the price almost reacted to. We may see the price reacting here to this level, or we may see also a corrective, a more strong corrective move towards this zone. And here it will depend where really we react to, because this horizontal line we see here, in fact, this line was the ideal one, was this one that was already bought in the past. So we are just looking here for lower levels. We already had this snapback here, so we are really here going to deeper levels with this line, but it's this level is not as ideal as with other markets for capture back here to this level. So this scenario is not very much likely. We prefer to go with this. If we see a continuation of the correction just to these levels here, and then we would see a recapture of these areas here, which correspond to the all-time highs in here in the price of Ripple, which hasn't seen yet its all-time highs being conquered. So we would then enter into this area here about the $2, $3, which is the all-time high here from 2017. So these are the three scenarios for the main crypto assets as it stays today, the 26th of May. Thanks for watching.